Guys, I love a good debate. I love a good debate, okay, because it stimulates me intellectually, okay, and I love being stimulated intellectually, right? It's one of the sexiest things in the world, okay? But what turns me off, right, in a debate, what turns me off is when debaters start to go for low blows, okay? Because when you're going for a low blow, right, and you're issuing ad hominem personal attacks, that to me signals that you are losing the debate, okay? And Eric Bolling, who was a former host on Fox News, had enough of the personal attacks, right? Because he was in this pretty good debate between him and Aisha Mills, who's a CNN contributor or something like that. And she went for a low blow, right? A low blow, okay? And the conversation was about the Georgia voting laws. So you guys know that race was going to be a part of the debate. So let's take a look at this epic debate, and I'll give you guys my opinion.
Well, first of all, let me just go back and address the rubbish that was just said. You know, this attack on liberals and boycotts as if, somehow one, holding corporations accountable is a problem is just ridiculous. But listen, it's actually Donald Trump now who's the one that wants to claim, a boycott, and he's no longer going to drink Diet Coke, and he's going to tell his crazy conservative people to stop drinking Coke. So to put this on liberals is actually trying to change the narrative in the conversation. Here's the deal. The deal is that everybody, corporations should included, should be on the side of democracy in the countries that they operate in, right? So what's happening right now is that an issue, voting, which is just fundamentally a right for everybody in this country. It has nothing to do with whether you're a liberal or a conservative or a Democrat or Republican or none of the above, right? Not with any party. You should be able to go and vote. And you should have a fair opportunity and access to that ballot. It should not be made more complicated, difficult, or restrictive for you, no matter who you are, what walk of life you come from, how much money you have, what race you are, or what geographic region you live in, and certainly not what party you are. It should not be more difficult to vote. That is fundamental what we're talking about here. So what corporations are doing is they're saying, yeah, we don't want to get into the partisan muck, but at the end of the day, why is voting a partisan issue, right? Why can't everybody just access our democracy? And they are fundamentally taking a stand for fairness. Well, conservatives have a problem with that, though, because when the game is fair, they lose, which is why they're always trying to rig the game.
Let me ask you just that very first point, Eric. Are you going to be boycotting the companies that have...
No, so here, can I just clear something up? Major League Baseball pulled the All-Star game from Atlanta. Atlanta's 50% African-American, and they did it on the heels of what Aisha has been fed from the Biden administration, that somehow this voting rule is bad for African-Americans in the state of Georgia. They pulled it from the state of Georgia and put it into Denver, Colorado with 9.7%.
Okay, wait a second.
Allow me to finish. 9.7% African-American representation in Denver. Here's what they did to the African...
I'll bring you in 1 second, Aisha.
Here's what they did to the African-American community and minority businesses in Atlanta, in Cobb County. They took $100 million of revenue. They took 8,000 booked hotel rooms and they moved them out of the state and put them in a state and a city with far less diversity than the state of Atlanta. And by the way, if Aisha wants to complain about this, take it up with Stacey Abrams, who's the voting advocate in Georgia, who said it was a mistake. Take it up with both senators who are both Democrats, one of them African-American, who said it was a mistake.
So the point is, just to broaden this out, the point that Stacey Abrams was making is that actually businesses are hurting Atlanta more by moving stuff out and by the activism and the stance they're taking. Aisha, do you want to respond to that one?
I do, because I think it's really rich for any Republican, especially a white man, to run around and claim that they care about the economic condition of Black communities and Black businesses when that's all a lie. OK, there's nothing in their policies.
Just please let her finish.
That they've done. The other thing is that I don't work for the Biden administration.
Eric, I'm so sorry. We can't hear you. I'm going to let Aisha finish.
I don't work for the Biden administration, never have. But what I am is a Black person in America. And everything that these voting laws stand for and what they look like are reminiscent to the Jim Crow policies that my family's lived under. This, every single thing about it. So this is all about racial discrimination. And how dare you try to act like you are somehow a proponent of Black people in businesses just to make a point and to try to create a wedge. It's ignorant and it's just disrespectful.
That's disgusting. I'm done. Put me off. That's disgusting. I am nowhere anything you're painting me to be. And the problem with American politics is exactly that. Because I'm white, you think I'm racist. That's BS. I'm done.
Will you just stay, Eric? Will you just stay for this question? So the question we've got, Aisha, is stay for one question, Eric. Let me put this to you because
I don't know why I'm staying here. I don't know why. I need an apology.
Let me put to you the question that Mitch McConnell was saying.
For being offended. No.
Aisha, okay. I think we've lost Eric.
Guys, you see, my boy Eric Bolling walked off, okay? Because basically what happened is that obviously Miss Aisha here, she, like a lot of Democrats, are framing this voting rights law as racist, right? And it keeps Black people and minorities from voting, okay? And again, they can't provide any real evidence for this, that, this discriminates against Black people, but they just go with that narrative, right? They go with what they're being told, right? That's just how it goes. You ask anybody about this voting law, what specifically in this voting law is keeping Black people from voting, and they can't point to anything, right? Because they just regurgitate whatever they're told on CNN, on MSNBC, and the pundits do the same thing, okay? And Eric Bolling points out, listen, since you want to talk about race, let's talk about the fact that the MLB basically pulled $100 million from Atlanta, which would have benefited minority businesses, right? Black businesses, okay? Which is a totally legitimate and fair point, okay? Because if it's about race, right, if it's about helping Black people, right, then, I would argue that economic rights, right, are more important than voting rights, in my opinion, right? I would rather Black people be doing well economically and not vote, okay? The Asian community figured this out a long time ago. You can do well economically and not be that politically involved, right? But for whatever reason, Democrats are more obsessed with the ability to vote for them, aka keep their jobs, than for Black people to be economically prosperous, right? So anyways, Eric Bolling brings this up, right? And this is where Aisha goes off the rails, right? This is where she starts to turn me off, okay? Turn me off, right? Because she says that as a white man, he cannot pretend that he cares about Black businesses. As a white man, he cannot pretend that he cares about Black business. That's what she says, right? And to me, this is a low blow because, one, it's not relevant whether or not he's white or whatever color. Is what he's saying a fact? Yes or no? I don't care about whether or not he actually cares, because at the end of the day, I understand that humans are tribalistic and most people are going to look out for their tribe, right? And the most obvious tribe is the race tribe, right? Even though we should all be the American tribe, but it is one of those things that I don't particularly expect another group of people or race to care about the Black community, okay? So that doesn't really bother me, right? Because I understand human nature. And I'm more concerned about whether or not what he's saying is actually true, right? Is what he's saying actually true, right? And see, that's why she had to do that, because she knew that what he was saying was true and it was a point that she could not contest. So therefore, she had to go for the low blow, right? She had to go for the low blow. And this is what happens when you're losing debates every single time. Personal attack, right? And Eric is right. Who knows? You don't know who he supports. You don't know who's he's associated with. You don't know anything about his background, especially on TV, right? Doing a debate, right? You're basically saying that he can't speak on something or that he can't state a simple fact because of his skin color, right? But see, they accuse the right of being racist when what she did right there was textbook racism. Textbook racism. Telling this man he can't have an opinion on something because of his race. It's really crazy, man, how these people that are supposed to be these crusaders against racism are the most racist people in our society, it seems like, right? And I think Eric was right to walk off set, right? That's not That's not right. Yeah, walk off, because why would I sit down with somebody and have a civil conversation with somebody who's obviously incapable of having a civil conversation, right? We're having a debate, and basically because Eric got her on a point that she can't really contest, she had to go for a low blow and then try to play the victim card. Like, oh, I'm offended. I'm offended that as a white person, you trying to speak on black people. Like, you trying to act like you care about black people's white. Come on. Give me a break, right? So, I just thought this exchange was interesting, okay? Because, all these people that are so upset about this voting law, like, I really just don't get it. I really don't, right? And it's really offensive. It's offensive because, they're acting like black people can't get an ID. They're acting like black people can't read the legislation and say, okay, I got to make sure, I vote this time, blah, blah, blah. Or even just Google search it, right? When it comes time to vote, just, all you got to do is just Google. Google, how do you vote, right? Like, Google all the information that's there. All that stuff is there, right? But who knows? Biden did say that he doesn't think that black people know how to use computers. So, I mean, that could be the reason. I don't know. The bigotry of low expectations. It's really a damn shame, right? And then if somebody that doesn't look like them or it's not black shows some concern for the black community, oh, that's a problem. It's a problem, right? It's just funny how that goes. How they always want to talk about how the problem is that people don't care about the black community and that it's been neglected. And then somebody brings up a statement that shows concern for the black community and she's mad. Oh, no, you can't talk about that because you're white. Oh, my God. These people are silly. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.